said she wasn't feeling good. A lot of people haven't been feeling good lately. I know I'm not the only one. So maybe today is just a small meeting, and I know part of it's going to be me catching up from last week when I wasn't here. So let's see what we got. I don't think we have too much on the table, really. So let's take a look at the agenda. Maybe we can start by doing check-ins. I'm feeling pretty drained today, but also like feeling on the rise from being sick. I'm not like feeling sick anymore, so that's good. And my intentions for the call are just to catch up from what I missed last week and talk about the things on the agenda. And distractions, not too many. There's some loud traffic outside, but it's fine. And I'll pass it to Jake.
Feeling really good. Really motivated this week. Intentions for the call. I have some updates on the partnership that was discussed last week with Giantkin helping out and offering suggestions with partnership threads, potential new CRMs to kind of control partnerships and update and monitor. So some feedback on that and distractions at the moment. I'm hungry, but that will be handled soon. Passing it along to my man Franco.
Thank you, Jake. Hello, everybody. I'm feeling a little bit hangover from last night, to be honest. I went out to celebrate Halloween, and yeah, that's it. And then, yeah, my intentions for the call is just giving a little update on the ETH gathering partnership that I'm working on, and maybe see if any support is needed in the upcoming events, if Alma needs me to create any event, or yeah, just see where I can help. And I don't have any structures at the moment, just my hangover. And I'll pass it to Claire.
Thanks, Franco. Hi, everyone. I am feeling much better today and motivated after 3 days of migraine on and off. My intentions for the call mainly are just to give a little bit of an update on some off-ramping stuff, which has been an ongoing thing for a long time, and also to talk about a project survey that I'm putting together. And I don't have any distractions apart from there are children in the house and I never quite know what they're going to do. I'm going to hand it over. Has everybody been? Almond, you haven't been. I'm going to hand it over to you.
Thank you, Claire. I'm feeling as you much better. I've been like sick over like 3 weeks, and today I feel much better. My intentions for the call are just to give some updates around the Twitter spaces that we're organizing, and also to give some updates around the coming events that are going to be happening for you to join, to invite your friends. And yeah, basically that. I don't have any distractions, and I'll pass it to Nicola.
You're unmuted, but we don't hear you. I don't know, maybe try leaving and coming back. Sometimes that helps. Yeah, is anybody else hearing her? Or is it just...
No, I'm not hearing anything, just you.
Okay.
Looks like she dropped out.
Yeah. All right, well, we can come back. We'll move forward. So it looks like we have a lot of events on the horizon. This is really exciting. So most notably, I guess this week is this Twitter space tomorrow, and the Giveth Essentials on the 8th coming up. And then the rest, this is all through the end of the month. What's scheduled just through the end of the month? Almond?
Sorry?
It looks like it's like what we have scheduled up through till the end of the month.
Yeah, exactly. It's through the end of the month. Some of them are confirmed as the verification workshop that we're throwing on the 8th. And the other ones are, most of them confirmed, but I just want to double check before putting all the final details.
Perfect. Is there anything that you wanted to talk about that's on this agenda around these events that you wanted to share? You said you had some updates.
Sure, that would be great. Thank you. So just a little quick note on the Twitter Spaces. We decided to leave only one name for the Twitter Spaces, so they will be called Give Talks to avoid confusion. So from now on, they will be called Give Talks, but with the same concept of talking about the Giveth galaxy and to also talk about the Giveth projects and so on. So that first, and yeah, we will have tomorrow our Region Farms Twitter space, and that's going to be quite an important one because we are going to talk a little bit about what happened over the weekend about the hacking. It's not going to be all about the hacking, but it's going to touch some points on that. And also important to mention that we changed the time for these to be before our weekly AMAs, also for the team to be able to join. So now we don't have any overlaps on our Twitter spaces for the team to have chance to listen. And I think that, it's really great for us to jump in because there are like a lot of things that happen over like the Giveth galaxy that are kind of like hard sometimes to understand. And these conversations with the team makes a little bit easier for us to understand everything that is happening. And then nothing, invite also the team to join our next verification workshop that's going to happen on November 9 during the AMA, and this with the intention to just give more information around the verification process to the Giveth project owners. And for them to know what exactly the benefits are of being verified. Ashley and Nicola are the experts on this, so I will be helping so they can facilitate this conversation in this workshop. And then we have our Giveth Essentials, that I need to double check with Cody and Lauren specifically because I want to be sure that this still is going to happen after specifically what happened over the weekend. So I will double check on that. And yeah, the others, I don't want to take much time of the call to explain, but you can check the list here and for sure add your ideas for future Twitter spaces and give it essential sessions as Jake already did, Claire already did. So please jump in. I really love your feedback and your brainstorm on that is super useful.
Awesome. That's a lot. There's a lot. That's so exciting. So is there anybody in this call that has questions about any of these events or things that they wanted to say about any of the other ones? Yeah, go ahead. Can you talk? No. No. All right. I guess Meet the Makers is the next big event, and then that's probably what you wanted to talk about. But there's some information here around it. The next one is probably going to be on the 23rd or the 7th. If you wanted to maybe type in the chat here, Nicola, if you have anything to say about it. Has the date been decided, or do we have projects lined up? That kind of thing. so we can get updates there. And then I guess I wasn't here last week, so I'm not really sure what was talked about the testimonials, but do we have anything like lined up and ready to go, or what is the next steps on this besides just like aligning efforts? Is there some actionable items here, or like some content that we can produce from what we have already?
Sorry, I think Nicola's microphone is connected. I don't know, maybe that it is working, but Nicola is saying that for the Meet the Makers projects are invited for the 23rd and waiting for 3 more confirmations. Sorry to just go back a little bit.
Yeah, that's okay. No worries. Cool. So we're on for the 23rd. Projects have been invited. It's around mental health this time, and we want to promote more of the YouTube live stream. I see from notes from last week. So cool.
Cool. So if Nicola, if you're okay, then I just wanted to be super sure that this was going to be on the 23rd, so I can start like preparing everything around the comms for that session. So I will start with the issues and like just opening tasks at GitHub for us to start promoting.
That didn't seem super confident. I'm not sure. This is hard. Okay, she's typing. Maybe we can async on this in our Meet the Makers planning, and once we have something more clear, we can bring that to the table. We still have it's still at the end of the month, so we have time. Then we're not trying to read lips. Yeah. So coming back to the testimonial, do we have anything that we could produce now from this?
Yes, so I already delivered one video from Okeke. It's like really well, Okeke was just filming himself in selfie mode. I put some subtitles for this to be a little bit more clear, but I was editing the other interview that I received from a really cool project, Quest Chains, and the camera is kind of like shaky, so I'm going to put some video in between of Quest Chains for this to be like a little bit more dynamic, and I think that I will try to put some videos of Helpers Foundation as well with Okeke One to be a little bit more professional. So yeah, I want to upgrade a little bit more and polish both videos that I'm working right now. And just an update on the other things. Claire, we think, Claire and me, about other interviews that she had. Well, she noticed some interest from project owners that wanted to be interviewed, so she already connected me with them so I can reach out and interview them. I was thinking that maybe we can have twice each month. I don't know if Corey has any suggestions around this, but maybe twice a month to feature project owners' videos would be cool. And Amari's not here, but I would really love his support on checking this and maybe try to polish them or like make them a little bit better. So yeah, what do you think about twice a month for this?
How are you envisioning them being featured? Like where?
On Twitter, there are less than a minute long videos. So they're like project owners talking about their projects. And the tweet basically is about their projects. I made one draft of the first one that I edit. That's on the issue right there. And yeah, basically project owners talking about their projects, and the tweets are about their projects as well.
I mean, yeah, I don't see why not. We're already featuring newly verified projects. So does this have something to do with that? Or like which projects are we getting testimonials from?
These testimonials all are from projects that we feature on Meet the Makers, for instance, first, and the others are some project owners that Claire shared with me as well. So, Claire, if you want to say what you're texting me.
I was just saying that I am waiting for one of the project owners to come back to me just to confirm that she's okay to be interviewed still, and just to find out the best way to contact her. And you have the contact details for the grassroots, I believe.
Yeah. So Corey is like, and everyone else, this is like really simple, like straight to the point videos in which we feature some project owners for them to have a face, and just like to complement a little bit more like us having the projects on the spotlight, and support them a little bit more. So yeah, maybe Corey, we can sync on these more, but yeah, it's
I
like
think
short clips.
I think it's pretty straightforward. I mean, sure. It's like I don't see why there's any issue with it. I was just curious, like kind of what the strategy is behind it, because like we have top performing projects, we have like newly verified projects, you know, we have like so I'm just curious like how we would go about that. But in general, like yeah, I don't see why not. Also, video content is great. Also, we have other platforms to use, so sure. I don't think we need to like talk about it too extensively. I think it's just about having like who's maintaining it, right, and who's owning this, and setting up the content every month. That's usually the only thing I'm like for something like I think this is totally something we should do, and there's just a question of like how to, you know, how to make sure it's happening regularly in a smooth way. Sounds cool.
Yeah, and as far as twice a month goes, I think it's an okay frequency as long as we can come up with the content that quickly. But so far, it's taken us a little bit to come up with just this first one. Maybe now that we have the first one, it'll be, you know, a little bit smoother, but depends on if we can get them to produce enough content to do it twice a month, right?
Right. Yeah, exactly. I think that is more on the end of the project owners, because well, and this is helpful also for me because I thought that it was like kind of easy for them to just record the selfie talking about their projects, but it's not that easy. Like I can see that for them is not like just as simple as shooting a video. So I can take on that and make sure that we have this content to be like on a regular basis. And yeah, the strategy behind this is well, to create more connections between projects and also to feature them more and to feel for them to feel a little bit more how can we say this, like a little bit more supported.
Yeah. So the content that we have, I'm a little confused because I know that there's like it's like two different angles, right? We've got different interviews going on, and then we have these testimonials. But these testimonials that we're talking about right now sound more like to me like a project background one, and not like their experience using Giveth. So do we have any videos or testimonials that are more so focused on that angle of like a project's experience with Giveth and like how Giveth has helped their project?
Yeah, that's something that we kind of like touched last week, but it's cool if we can just go back to that again. So I first tried for them to talk to me a little bit about their experience at Giveth, and the answer that I received it was like, well, I've not like used Giveth a lot, so maybe if you give me 3 months, I can talk about my experience at Giveth. So that was like kind of like their answers that for me was quite interesting, like for them to share that with Giveth, they don't really have a background or an experience. And so to just move forward and not wait for content to be sure like in a long time. I told them, yeah, no worries. It's cool if you can just share me about your project and your experience with your project. So that's why I kind of like decided to not go with their Giveth experience, as the answer was that they really didn't have a Giveth experience. So these interviews are just like focus on their projects. And I think for us is that's also quite like a good feedback that maybe we need to create more events and actions like around projects and with projects for them to actually like have more of a give experience. But I think that that's like kind of like another strategy and another conversation. So if you agree on this angle, these mini videos are more of like their projects and what are their projects about.
Okay, I just like, I mean, I'm all for like promoting projects. I always have to think about it also from like a communication strategy, and like I was assuming they would definitely be talking about their experience with Giveth within those videos. So yeah, I definitely don't want to say like, no, let's not feature projects, but is there a way to offer some guidance, even if they don't have a ton of it, like things to talk about at them? It might be too early, it sounds like, then to be gathering testimonials, since we do still need to do a lot of relationship management with the projects. Maybe there's a couple that are willing to give testimonials now, because I know a couple have received quite a bit of donations, and like that's great, like from the more experienced ones. I would just want to think a little bit more. Yeah, we can sync on that then outside the meeting, but like think a little bit more strategically about how to communicate about these projects once or twice a month, because we're getting a lot of other requests too to communicate about our partnerships. Like we're forming all these new partnerships now. There's like, and they're all requesting monthly posts. And so, yeah, I would just want to be clear, like on how we tie Giveth around that communication as well. I don't know if I'm expressing myself right.
I understand what you're saying, and I know we already do a lot of featuring of different projects. So it could also just be content, because we're not sure how often we're going to be able to produce them. It's just like maybe content for when the Twitter is slow and we don't have something. So that could work. And I think that we could feature some of them on our YouTube, upload some of them on our YouTube for the videos and just have like a playlist there of different projects. I think that also we should still focus on trying to get testimonials, and maybe it just means that we need to be more strategic about the projects that we're asking. And, even if we ask the Meet the Makers projects and they say they don't have the experience to give us a testimonial, that's fine. But I know we have some projects, like some of these Diamante Bridge Collective projects in Costa Rica have received quite a few donations, and I think that Giveth has made a pretty big impact on some of their projects. And I think that if we asked them, they would be willing to do some testimonials. And I think that there's some other projects that have received quite high amount of donations on Giveth that might be willing to talk about it. We just haven't reached out to those specific projects. So maybe we just need to be a bit more strategic.
I have a couple of things
Sorry, go ahead, Claire.
I have a couple of things I'd like to add. The first thing is that we have a charity on the platform called Grace, who have already self-produced a video talking about the success of their fundraising. The problem is, and it goes back to what you were saying, Almond, is that it's actually quite tricky and daunting, I think, for these projects to produce these videos. But there was some quite good content in there, in that if it was produced in a different way, it might be something that we could use. So maybe if we revisit them and ask them to talk about their experiences with a little bit more guidance, with some interview style questions, maybe they could produce something that we could use. So that's the first thing. And the second thing I wanted to add was I'm in the process of putting together a project survey. And what I'd like to address with some of the questions there is to ask the projects if they would be interested in participating in this kind of thing, to talk about their successes and to get some feeling some feedback as to where they are in their fundraising journey, so that we can then go back to them and get some more detail from them if that's what we need, or we can aim our content, make it a bit better placed towards them. So there are lots of questions in there that I'm putting together, and I'd like at some point, this sort of goes on to what I wanted to cover in the meeting anyway, but I would like at some point for people to review some of these questions and to add any things that they would like to find out more about from our projects, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Is that, and have you put that in the agenda already, or?
So it was in last week. I didn't get around to adding it today. I think you just sort of roll it over though, maybe. If not, I can pop the link in. At the moment, it's very much a work in progress. I'm just sort of sketching out some questions, but it's probably at a stage where people can start looking at it, as long as you sort of keep in mind that it's a work in progress. And I
Okay.
hope to get that
Let
finished
us
by the
know,
end of
and
the week.
I'd love to give you some feedback whenever it's ready, or maybe help add some questions, or maybe we can produce some cool like logic stuff with the form.
That's what I was thinking. And, I think with these types of discussions, it can really help to think about the questions that we want answering. And this seems like a really good area for investigation to me.
Yeah, it was really interesting to see the results of the donor survey, so it'd be cool to do a project one as well.
Yeah, and doing an interview style thing with them and recording that video could also be content that's created. Not necessarily have them create selfie videos, but if we were instead like having a video call, or there's maybe to really provide them guidance. And the one other thought, just to add to the notes, is that like if they can't talk about their experience with Giveth really because they just don't have enough of it, what would be an interesting angle is for them obviously to talk about their project, but talk about crypto in some way. Like why, I don't know, why were they interested in this, or like how is crypto helping their local communities, or how is crypto interesting to them? Anything around that topic, I think would also, if you can't talk about Giveth specifically, but you can talk about crypto donations and how crypto makes a positive impact, as another funding mechanism or whatever. I think this would still be like really relevant, like content then to put out to our audiences, because it will, in my opinion, like increase people's awareness that like this is making an impact around the world. And then also if we were to use that outside of Twitter, more like on Facebook and stuff like this, like platforms where there's a lot of nonprofits right now that are skeptical about crypto in general, I think that's an amazing video to put up there of like a real project that's talking about their openness to crypto, even if they can't talk about Giveth specifically. So that's kind of what I mean with like the strat. Like, yeah, I would probably maybe ask them to put like, ask them a question around that. So at least there's something in there that's quite relevant to what we do.
I think that with what everyone is saying, it sounds like we kind of need to just touch base maybe out of this call to align on this effort. I think that all this feedback and different points of views is super useful, but I think that then we need to kind of like give this project, like the testimonials, more shape and strength, it a little bit more around like Giveth and the Giveth mission and vision.
Okay, so we should set up like a little hack session.
Yeah, because I think that it sounds like this needs more work still to make it like really impactful and good quality for Giveth. So yeah, I think that maybe it's good like to pause, not to reach out to more projects to interview, and just like gather us and touch base on, okay, which projects will really be and have like good feedback and testimonials. Maybe it was not like meet the makers, maybe as you mentioned, Ashley, is more like the ones that have an impact in their lives, the ones in Costa Rica. So yeah, maybe would be good to just touch base us.
Yeah, definitely. I'll create a doodle and like maybe put together a little document with some of this information and like gather some of the information from GitHub and stuff that's been sprinkled around, and we can put it all in one spot and have like a little hack session. So I'll post the doodle in the Communitas channel after this. Okay. Next thing. Orientation AMA call is starting tomorrow, is changing the time. So it will now be during the same time as the Give Economy research call. I wasn't here last week. I put this on here last week, but it looks like Franco is, for you, it's going to be an issue.
I mean, not really. Like, I usually go to the MIAs like regularly. So, but sometimes I do go to the Give Economy call. Like, it's interesting, and I like to attend that one as well. So maybe like what I mentioned was that I could do like a week I can be in the MIA and like the next one in the Give Economy, kind of like switch between calls like every week. I don't know.
Okay,
Like,
cool. As long as it's not like a barrier for you.
No.
And it's just like, I don't think that it's, as long as we have at least one of us in the AMA call, I think that that's really what's important. Sometimes it's nice to have like the bilingual support, but Almond comes in too, and so she can kind of help translate if there's people who don't speak English or speak Spanish. So I think that if it's okay with you, we can, there's no problem, and starting tomorrow, it will be that way.
Yeah, no problem at all.
Cool. All right. Updating project pages. I left feedback on this. Tropical Mango isn't here. Does anybody else know like the status or have any updates on this?
I think Ahmad, but he's not here as well.
Okay. Well, I guess we could probably, let's look at the issue and see. But I think that it's still a phasing in sort of thing that they want to do with the form. So, yeah. Cool. If you want to update yourself, you can read the issue here. There's a lot going on in there. Basically, we want to have a phased-in approach and have different templates so that the projects can add more information to their description and help them to make it more robust. Not necessarily make it like required, because we still want it easy, but yeah, so join the conversation there if you want to. And then Jake, I'll pass it to you.
Can I interrupt?
What?
Because that is. Can I interrupt? Sorry.
Yeah.
I appreciate it if you guys can vote on it. If it's has an epic based on the token lock thing. I'm not sure that this issue has an epic or not. But if you wanted to get it prioritized, we have to have enough priority with the votes there to work on it.
Yeah. From what I can tell right now, it's not something that has been defined, the steps that need to be taken. Like nothing is set in stone has been decided of what will be changed. So I think it's still kind of in this ideation phase and strategizing phase. And I don't know that it needs to be prioritized as far as devs go at this point. Is that your question? Or like, is that what you mean?
Yeah, I was thinking that it's finalized. Okay.
No, I don't think it's finalized yet. I wish Tropical Mango was here to talk a little bit more, or Ahmad, but from what I could tell the last time I went through the issue, nothing was really finalized and people were still like going back and forth with different ideas of how it should work.
Okay, I can help out Tropical Mango.
And then Jake, did you want to talk about the partnership program?
I would be on.
Yeah.
So after doing some research with Giantkin, he provided so much really good stuff last week after we were speaking about this. Where do I start? So basically, we have a CRM, and we're going to utilize the CRM HubSpot for the time being. Full disclosure, all honestly, until there starts to be more of initiative by the Giveth community to use the CRM, we're going to just stick with HubSpot. He did really offer a nice one. Wonder. If you haven't seen it, it's really, really cool. It actually is tailored to Web3 and DAOs. I know I'm going off on a little bit of what does that have to do with issue 902 and partnership program, but I'll continue moving along. And so in the future, we might move to this Wonder CRM, but at this point, we'll just use GitHub. Now, with that, in that DAO, they did have some really cool stuff about partnership pods and how to track partnerships. And that moved us into a conversation about creating Discord channels and threads. And based off of some more research on other DAOs that have done that, it seems like it's a mess. It gets messy, and the objective of controlling the mess is actually reversed. So I don't think we're going to create any type of like Discord channel specifically for each one of our current partners, because it just gets messier than the goal of creating organization. What that means is I spoke to Griff. I got all the information with issue 902 for each of our current partners, or even some of them that have fallen out or quote unquote dead. I will add those to the CRM. I will continue my one-on-ones with those current partners. And we'll just go about it that way, where I will be the point of contact unless it is Griff specifically and he wants to maintain that, or there's a couple with Mitch as well. So the action item will just be me adding it to the CRM, continuing with the outreach one-on-ones with that. And then if it needs to be brought to a channel, then we can do that. Because I would say there is a really nice benefit, and hopefully we can get to a point where it is a channel creation, because it just makes it easier for the devs and Monick. I know he's on the team, for the marketing, for comms team to just go to that one channel and see all communication instead of going to HubSpot and trying to find the contact or the name or anything like that. So that's kind of the roadmap as it will be followed for the time being. Is all information will be uploaded into HubSpot. Jake will kind of remain the point of contact unless otherwise specified by Griff. And as this develops, as HubSpot's used more, or as something else comes to the table to make these partnerships easier, then we can go about it at that time. Those are the updates.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Now I'm taking a drink of water.
That this document. So basically, I can check this box, right?
Yeah, because I got the missing partners from Griff. We're all there. Who are, that's the action item, I guess, for the future is two things. Just one, if there's any partners that we want to target. I know we're doing a pretty good job at this point. As Corey mentioned, we have a lot of marketing partners that are on the table that are coming to the top, to the surface. I don't think we need that. And then we're actually going to move on a couple with Radical, with Polygon potentially, that are going to include engineering and dev on that side. So if you have partners, I think we all know how to bring them up to the forefront, and I think we're at a good spot with that. But again, action items is if you think of any partners that you want to bring, please bring it up. And then two, if you think of a way for stronger communication with current partners, whether it's, hey, I heard you talk about Discord, but I disagree with you. I do think Discord channel is the right way. That would be the other action item. Just thinking about how to make communication with current partners easier for all of Giveth contributors to view. And again, just to recap, since I am a speaker, for now, we'll just use HubSpot.
Okay. That sounds like a good plan. As far as my opinion, if you want to hear it about the Discord thing, I think that having a thread for every partner would definitely be very messy and hard to maintain. Be a lot in the Discord. So I'm glad that that's not the way that we want to go. However, I do think that there's some value to things like our current bridge channels. Although people don't really talk in them that much, but there for a while there was some action in there, and it was cool that we had this like little connection between our communities where the communication could happen more directly. So I guess if it's going to be a channel that's active and it's useful for us to have that, then maybe we could look at doing that in the future. I know Kai can set up the bridge channels pretty easily, so we can do something like that too. And I think that it is useful to have that, but maybe we don't need one for every partner unless there's a lot of activity in there or something. I don't know. That's just my 2 cents. I don't know if anybody else has comments or questions.
Crossing different streams or different internal Giveth communities, basically, where we all need to be pulled in. I think you're right. At that point, open communication, open bridge is where we go with it. And, speaking of Radical or Polygon, those would be two front runners for doing that currently, since it is crossing over. But I do think internally we are doing a good job of creating DMs or speaking with all stewards about how to move forward with that stuff. So I don't think communication is lost. Hopefully in the future, it'll just get easier.
Yeah. And then I guess it's just safe to assume that if there's some communication that needs to happen between like the comms team and this partner, that you're going to be the one to facilitate that, since nobody else is going to be seeing this communication, right?
Yeah, so kind of on my shoulders, and I'll always make sure to update the CRM. And the CRM again is pretty user friendly, so you can search by even the organizational name if you don't know who the point of contact is, and just go in there and you can see all the information from every contact that's listed under that organization in there, so that it's all consolidated underneath the organization, and you can just kind of see what's being used and what's being said.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks, Jake. This is definitely because of the kind of confusion that's happening with Radical. I was thinking about this too, and the CRM is so essential. So thank you again for managing that, and to continue pushing that forward and keeping that updated, because it's very important. And then there's of course needs to be a communication channel then between us and the partner. I would look at it as level of partnership. We have some really easygoing things like Refi Spring. To me is pretty chill. We're talking about aligning on a post or two per month. Probably doesn't need to be a lot of back and forth communication there, versus if it's a major integration with a partner and there's this whole launch, co-launch, a whole big thing, right? That's ongoing, maybe with Radical or whatever, then maybe that deserves this Discord window, right? Or window between the communities. Or otherwise, I think these group DMs would be the way to set it up. In the traditional world, we had group emails, right? And once you have the partnership set up, then you would rope in someone from product or someone from marketing, whoever needs to be there to help implement whatever the thing is or help the launch go successfully, with the partnership manager project managing that, right? And helping that communication back and forth. But I think that's it's just based on level of partnership and how much communication is needed, and then roping in a couple people from whatever working groups are necessary, so that you don't have to be it's not good to play telephone either, but you can help facilitate those conversations. So thanks for the updates. It's really good to hear.
Well, and then also, I mean, we can also do things if it's a one-time launch thing or something. We just have a thread, and that way once it becomes inactive, it gets archived. It's still there and you can find it, but it's not a channel that needs to be active all the time. So I think we have options going forward, and it'll evolve as we need to. Just keep us posted. If you need any support with Discord stuff, let me know. All right. ETH gathering updates, Franco.
So these people from ETH Gathering, this is a conference that's happening this month here in Barcelona. They reached out to Griff, and then Griff sent them my way, because they want to use the Giveth house as a meeting point before the conference. So I was talking to the organizer about this, and we're kind of working on a partnership with them. So basically, they're going to use the house for different teams of different organizations to come and work together here, or just to come and chat and talk and just have a venue to come to. This is happening right before the conference. And yeah, so I met with them, and we decided to they're gonna put our logo up in the website, and put us there as sponsors. I offer them as well a place for the volunteers of the event to stay here in the house during the event. So yeah, it's kind of it was kind of a spontaneous kind of thing. But yeah, we're getting some promotion out of that. Maybe I still need to talk to the girl from communications to maybe organize some cross promotion kind of thing. So I'll probably be asking for help in there, like for the Twitter. And yeah, I don't know. I think it's a great opportunity because there's going to be like a lot of people coming here, and we're going to use the Giveth House project for them to donate, and it's a great opportunity to explain to them what the platform is about, what Giveth is about, and yeah, I don't know. That's what's happening. There's also like they mentioned that maybe Ledger is interested in throwing a workshop here as well, but I haven't talked to Ledger yet. But yeah, we might be like hosting a Ledger workshop here. So yeah, that's the update.
Cool, that's exciting. Is there going to be a lot of them there? Are you excited?
I mean, yeah, like I think it's going to be like 25 or 30 people during the week here. And then, yeah, I want to go to the conference. I don't even know what the conference is about, but I think it's going to be interesting. So yeah, and there's a lot of like side events happening as well. There's also another organization who's interested in like throwing a cocktail party here as well. I haven't talked to anybody. Like it's happening in 2 weeks, and the organization is kind of like slow. They're taking their time in answering the messages. So yeah, it's excited.
Is this something that we should probably organize like a tweet thread about, or some sort of like communications about this? I mean, we should highlight it.
Yeah, probably yes, but I just want to talk to the girl that is in charge of that first because she hasn't said anything yet. But I want to see like what's the best way to go forward with this. So, but I want to speak to her first. I only talked to the guy that's in charge of the operational kind of like side of it. So we're kind of like working and creating like a registration form, like to keep track of the people who's going to come here because we all know that 30 people can get like very wild very fast. So I'm working more on the side of keeping control of the people who's going to come as well. But yeah, as soon as I talk to the girl that's in charge of the communications, I'll probably like shout out to someone and ask for help in a Twitter thread.
Okay, cool.
Franco, really nice job on this. I know you pushed hard to get the marketing aspect of our logo up on their website under the sponsors and getting some pub for us. So just really nice job running with this and controlling it.
Yeah, it's exciting.
All right, well, we're getting down here towards the bottom of things that have kind of gone untalked about, and I see that Katabe is here, and I'm very excited to see you here. We've been missing you. I'd love to like check in with you and see how you are.
I miss you too. I'm so glad to be back. Hey everyone, how are you all? It's been so nice to start catching up. I'm really happy being back and working. It's amazing to come back to a work that you actually really enjoy and you missed. So yeah, basically a little bit of context. I became a solo flyer on paragliding. It's amazing. I did it in Colombia since I was already there, and it was like very nice price. And my girlfriend really trusted a person who trained a friend of hers, so it was a really cool experience. I should have gone like with 15 flights or so, but the weather didn't help. But anyways, 4 times flying solo. The 4th time was like, okay, I'm starting to grab this. It's really amazing experience. That's on that. And on the GPS, yeah, I'm so happy to be back. I am still catching up with everything. What I want to do this week is, I know that there is a forum proposal about quarterly stats for Giveth. And I think that I've seen a couple of similar, like some initiatives that could be related to GPS. So I just want to kind of like see, like, put this all together at least, and yeah, I don't know, start exactly. So I want to give sense of all of these to be kind of like connected and not like isolated. So I'll probably have a chat with Mitch for it, and then also I owe still like this team the next action items after the second GPS session. But so there will be updates on this week. Basically, that's what I'm trying to say. Wait for that on the Discord channel. That's it. And well, if someone has also like some opinions, ideas, anything, like feel free.
I'd just like to add in there, we now have some analysis tools, metrics tools, whatever you want to call it, for analyzing the working group costs for contributor costs. So we have forecast and actual figures that can be updated monthly, and that's already gone ahead. So I will catch up with that at some point in the not too distant future, whenever you have a minute.
Yeah, that would be amazing. Thanks, Clara.
Oh, it's so good to see you, and I'm excited to hear about you flying. That's so fun. I can't wait to fly. So with GPS stuff, and I think then, I mean, I know I definitely want to give you some time to sink back in and like wrap your head around everything that's been happening while you're gone. It might take you a little bit, but I know there's this, and then there's like this D work stuff that we kind of need to check in on again. It'd be really great to kind of like define the process from the beginning to the end of a bounty, and yeah, I think those are the main things. But take your time, sink back in, get your head around things, and yeah, we'll hear from you soon. So no
Awesome.
worries.
And I think for the work, the main process will be like when we have a new idea for a bounty, like especially if it's for like the communities working group, we can discuss it here, and then I can take part of the lead on setting it up. And then like we create the issue, and then most things we can do offline, and we just had the conversation on the governance call just to see, just to get kind of like a green light on using that budget, while we have at least like budgets for it, because right now we have a general budget, so we still have to go through like governance of the whole DAO. Maybe at some point it will be kind of like sub DAOs, and we just need like the decision that the people in the working group are agreeing. But for now, the process that we establish is going to the governance call and discuss the bounties that we will like to go live. And I think there are, I also in my getting up to date, I saw that there is some interest on maybe some bounties, testers for other things. So yeah, like whenever there is an interest for a bounty, we can just discuss it here, propose it, and then try to get it passed on the governance call.
So yeah, I understand that. For me, I think that it's important for us to like document the process, even if it's just like a short little document, because according, like what you're telling me now is different than what Mitch tells me when I talk to him about bounties, and it's different than when I talk to somebody else about bounties, and we all kind of have a different idea of how this process is working right now. So if we could just like come up with like like an outline of like, okay, you want to make it, you have an idea for a bounty, here's step 1, step 2, step 3, and it doesn't have to, I don't think it has to be anything too elaborate, because like you said, it is changing, and so it's going to be kind of like a living document. But right now the process isn't very clear for people, and we're not really aligned on it. So I guess that's just the request, and I can help with that, or but it's just something that's been on the agenda that I wanted to bring up whenever you were back.
Yeah, awesome, thank you. Yeah, I'll then start drafting the document.
Okay, cool. Oh, and I see you left a link here for the project survey, Claire. So if people have feedback or want to see the status of this right now, it's still a work in progress, but we're moving it forward, and we'll move to a place where we can have a document to review. We are 1 minute towards the end of the call. Is there any burning desires or things that we should talk about?
Yeah, only really quickly, Claire, you told me some things about Orbit, so I just wanted to bring it up that maybe we can align later, you and me, about what's going to happen with Orbit, and maybe just add it to the agenda next week for us to be all in the same page.
That sounds like a good plan.
Okay, I'd like to be included too if that's possible.
Yeah, sure.
Cool. All right, well, we have our normal CTA section down here at the bottom of the agenda. So if you guys have ideas or feedback, brainstorming, different ideas for Giveth Essentials, Meet the Makers, Twitter, well, we don't have these anymore. But any of these things, please get in there and provide some feedback. All right.